Hey, it's me, the RWG, back again with another edition of Bunka News. Welcome to the Bunka, the place where we celebrate and educate about digital and internet culture. One of these days we'll stick with one of these catchphrases we come up with, but anyway, moving swiftly on. I can't promise I'll always do this, but I'll try and cover news stories that I don't think many people are covering, at least not from the perspective that I'll present to you in the video. So moving swiftly on with our first story, Netflix Castlevania slays the ratings. The Netflix 2D animated series for Castlevania, which is based on the Konami-owned video game series of the same name, has broken records, it would seem, and I don't see anyone actually talking about this, so hell, I'm gonna do it. It's a strange year, actually, because currently the Sonic movie has a really good rating on Rotten Tomatoes for being a really good video game movie, one of the best. And in the case of the Castlevania Netflix series, which has just recently released their third season, at the time of making this video, it is the best rated TV show based on a video game. Knowing my luck, after pointing this out, someone will probably go onto Rotten Tomatoes and probably change that, but hey, that's the internet for you, really. I honestly have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of websites which claim to be the be-all and end-all. Their opinion is the only one that matters. And in the cases of websites like Metacritic, can actually be the difference between companies getting a raise / promotion or getting members of their team fired. Yeah, that's actually a real thing. Look that up. People in companies actually use Metacritic as a reason to decide if a product is good or not. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. Yes, Castlevania Netflix third season came out this month, March, and it's done amazingly well. Some aspects of this season 3, aren't exactly perfect, but it's still keeping a lot of people's interest. No major missteps, keeping true to the characters, having just enough story and references to the games to make everyone be happy with it, for the most part. It truly is strange times we're living in, especially when there's so much disdain that the general public seems to have for not only 2D animation, but video games in general. In particular in the West, as someone who's had an interest in animation in the past, there is a big stigma that if anything's animated and it's not trying to imitate real life, there's this really messed up stigma that a lot of people in the world have that they just immediately assume, oh, this is only for children. Who else cares? I'm not going to take this seriously because it's just for kids. Castlevania on Netflix very much doesn't fall into that category. It's been accused by some of being like, oh, look how it's trying to be mature with all that gore and the swearing, but hey, there's films with real life people that do the same thing. What's your point? In any case, this sets a precedent, along with the Sonic movie, that you can make competent movies and TV shows out of the source material if you actually show some interest in the source material and just don't do something like the old Mario movie, which I know some people like the old Mario movie, but to be fair, it was kind of a train wreck at the same time. Let's be completely honest here. Plus, we've got another Mario movie coming as well, which is probably going to completely blow all of this out of the water. But anyway, as someone who has been interested in video games for a long time and can remember a period in time before the internet was something that everybody was using, it's just really cool to see, and I want to see more of it. In fact, I won't dwell on this too much, but since we're on the subject of Netflix, there is a big thing right now, it seems like, that there was a period of time when a lot of content was all on things like Hulu and just Netflix and that, but now suddenly everyone's dividing up their resources into like smaller streaming things and all this. So it's almost like we've got TV channels all over again, and except no one's going to want to pay for them. So in the end, all that means is eventually everything's going to get consolidated into a few channels all over again. But that's neither here nor there. Now, the reason I bring this up is because two of the big players right now is Disney Plus and Netflix. Now, there's a lot of people I've seen who claim that Disney cannot be beaten. Everyone is basically going to bend the knee to Disney and they will end up showing their content through the Disney Plus platform. But I've also heard the theory that Netflix does have the potential to topple even Disney in terms of streaming content success. And the reason for that, in my honest opinion, is because of the variety. Netflix is trying so much interesting things right now. So many interesting kinds of TV shows, animations, and entertainment. Things that Disney wouldn't even dare try doing in a lot of cases. If anything, Disney's getting a little bit woke, dare I say it? Which could be its downfall, but let's not draw too much on that. I know how touchy the internet gets about these things. I really want Netflix to keep succeeding and keep doing really interesting shows like Castlevania. They are trying things in the West that no other company seems to have the balls to do right now. And if all forms of entertainment are going to grow up and mature even further, we need more of that. Stigmas like this whole thing of like, oh, it looks like a cartoon, therefore it's for people who are 9 years old. Nah, that needs to end. It's not going to happen overnight, but it needs to end. So, congratulations once again to Netflix for a successful season 3 for Castlevania. As we now move on to our next news story, Borderlands slays itself. For any of you who had the self-control to not buy Borderlands 3 when it came out on the Epic Store and were waiting for it to come out onto the Steam Store instead, congratulations! I'm super proud of you. You can now buy Borderlands 3 on the Steam Store. However, there's a few caveats to go with that. And to cover some of those issues, I now present to you a little bit of coverage by my special guest today, Jacko, or Not So Retro Jacko as he's also known. If you've been on my streams before, you've probably heard his ramblings a few times, much like my own, a little in the past. Take it away, sir.
And thank you, SK. So, Gearbox recently released a patch for Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel on February 27th. This patch was supposed to add compatibility between multiple PC platforms as well as bring in a new shift system that would provide a better link between each game. Unfortunately, this update brought more problems than solutions. After the patch dropped for both games, reports were coming in that both games were crashing on startup, and those who did manage to get into the game had even more issues with the new shift system. Shift, for those uninitiated into the Borderlands, is the system Gearbox uses to give out rewards to players. Most of these rewards are golden keys, which can be used to redeem gear from the golden chest in the game's main hub city. The new system added a feature that requires you to submit a unique username that will now be your in-game name. Before, the games used your Steam username as the in-game name. The feature, from a number of reports, flat out didn't work, with a number of players trying to make a username and being told it's already taken, and others just not being able to make a Shift account outright. The aforementioned compatibility between multiple PC platforms also is quite ironic, as this patch has been, according to some players, is broken compatibility between Mac and PC, meaning those on different hardware can no longer play with each other. The patch also brought forth a huge performance hit that even on a high-end rig only gets 40 FPS post-patch, with infinite loading screens also popping up for some users. The final kicker to this patch is the quite blatant and distasteful advertisement banner for Borderlands 3 being slapped on the game's main menu, with those playing Zero having their face covered up by this banner. As of writing this, March 11th, there has been a patch for the patch on March 10th regarding the occasional crash on launch. I wonder how long it will be until players mod out this advert, like players did when Bethesda pulled this same stunt with the Creation Club in Fallout 4. For those wondering if it is possible to transfer save data from the Epic Store version to the Steam version, Gearbox has stated that you can do so, but recommend backing up your data, as doing so can result in corrupting and losing your save. Back to you, SK.
So it almost sounds like Gearbox are sabotaging their own game in order to make the next game seem more attractive. That's not a good look, to say the least. Hopefully that's just me speculating, but in this day and age, you never know sometimes with the video game industry. Anyway, this was me, the RWG, aka the Skay, as well as Retro Jacko, and if you liked what we do today, you know what to do. Hit the like button, the follow, all that jazz. If you want to see the sort of things that we do more ourselves, there'll be links to our personal YouTubes. And we will see you next time.